Fearless Fundraisers, I'm Dawn Lego. It's time, buckle up. It's a new episode of Raise Nation Radio, the one and only podcast made to inspire fundraisers like you to continue making impact in our communities, building better tomorrows, and exchanging ideas. So whether you're a trailblazer or seasoned pro, you'll pick up the trends that transform your fundraising, and together we'll dive into lively conversations and we'll chat with industry-leading fundraisers and thought leaders to explore hot-button issues and innovative ideas. So stay with us for the next 30 minutes while we inspire you to embrace the future of fundraising. All right, let's get going. Welcome back, Raise Nation. I'm so happy that you're connecting with us again. We so enjoy this channel and the 145 episodes that we've produced and counting. And thank you for making the show just so popular and joining us on the show at the same time. It's always special when we get to talk to great missions who are doing great things to build better tomorrows for the community. And this episode is no different. We have the folks, the cast, the crew, the people that are making it happen from the Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis. So please help me welcome to the show Emily Fisher, who's the Director of Special Events. Not an easy job. We all know events are, the landscape is changing. So we're going to talk about that. And Erin Schulman, who's the Executive Director. So Emily, Erin, welcome to Raise Nation Radio.
Thanks. Hi. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's so great to connect with you. And I've been doing a little reading up and the amazing impact that you're making in the communities. I want to get into all of that. It's just heartwarming to see an organization that's helping individuals live their best life. And you're doing that really, really well. It's so heartwarming. Some of our audience knows I have a son with special needs, and similarly, I work alongside my daughter to just help the neurodiverse community live their special and best life. So I have a kindred spirit to what you're going on, kind of, sort of. So I want to get into all of that and what you're doing for the greater St. Louis area, but we want to get to know you first, right? So who's Emily? Who's Erin? What are your wishes, your dreams? Who makes you what you are? What's your purpose at Down Syndrome Association? So Emily, let's start with you. Emily Fisher, Director of Special Events. Introduce yourself and tell us anything you'd like to share.
Well, I'm Emily. I have been with the Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis for almost 4 years now. I graduated Illinois State University in 2015, and ever since then, I've just been with different nonprofits, but I think I finally found, I know that I finally found where I love to be. I say it every year that my anniversary comes around, it's just, I have a job that I love, and that is such a great feeling to wake up and not dread going to work. I am a dog mom. I love my puppy. She is
Shout
a
out.
puppy.
What's your
Shout out to Charlie.
Charlie? Hey, Charlie.
You're listening, Charlie.
But she is my life. So when I'm not at work or doing events or anything like that with the Down Syndrome Association, I am pretty much either at home, at the dog park, or with my family. I'm very family oriented. So
Nice to get to know you. Emily, I don't know, Director of Special Events, do you really have time outside of events? I mean, that is like, two full-time jobs wrapped up in one sometimes, I think. There's just so many. Oh, well, we'll get into that. Erin, let's get to know you a little bit as well. Executive Director, that's not a light responsibility for sure, but let's get to know the person behind the role.
Yeah, wonderful to be here. So I started at the Down Syndrome Association in 2012. So it'll be almost 12 years in December. I started as Director of Programs and Services. So my background is in public health. And so I started on doing programs and growing our services and supports for the region. And then in 2016, I was promoted by the board of directors to executive director, which has been one of the great honors of my life. I have a brother with Down syndrome. He's 38. So that has, in addition to my public health background and my experience, similar to Emily, I've always worked in nonprofits. So that drew me here. And I love it. It's amazing because I get to be with and see and support and serve a lot of people that I've known for my whole life. So that's really meaningful to me. And I love it because I have a really big vision for what I think the community can be for people with Down syndrome. And I get to help make that happen with an amazing team of people who share similar values. And I think, we're just like growth oriented and the sky is the limit. So it's really fun to be able to be a part of all the different aspects of making an amazing organization run alongside incredible humans that get to do it with me every day.
I love that growth mindset, and just a shout out to the community that you serve and the
Yeah,
people that help you serve that community. So that was
absolutely.
very special. Let's talk about Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis. Okay, what does that mean, right? I think we can predict a little bit. You serve the population that have Down syndrome, I assume, helping them live their best life. But I don't know if that's the right assumption. So let's talk about the organization, the mission, and what your goals and objectives are there. We just want to get to know a little bit about the nonprofit. Can you share that? Who wants to take that first?
You may take that one.
I'll let you
Okay.
take it.
Yeah. So I answer these questions all the time. So our mission is to serve, support, and celebrate. That's a big underlying
Serve, support, and celebrate. Oh, let's
Celebrate.
underscore the word celebrate
Yep,
for
yep,
sure.
yep. We didn't want to leave that out because we really do that a lot at the Down Syndrome Association. So to serve, support, and celebrate the lives of people with Down syndrome and their families through every stage of life. We're one of the only organizations in our region that serves people with Down syndrome from the moment they're born, and sometimes before they're born when that family gets the prenatal diagnosis through the end of their life. So we are really across the lifespan. We are here. The pillar of what we do is supporting individuals and families. So we do
So
that
from
throughout.
-9 months to 99 years, right? And
Yeah,
everything in
yeah,
between.
yeah, everything in between. And there's a lot that goes into the journey of having a person with Down syndrome in your life. And we're there to walk alongside families during that journey. And
So
sorry, go ahead.
no, let's talk about the programming. So how do you serve them? How do you celebrate the population and just um, enhance their lives and independence?
Yep. So a lot of that starts when people get the diagnosis. So we really believe that that first few years of life is critical to helping families get off on the right foot. So we do a lot in the first few years of life. We connect them with all of the therapeutic services they need, all of the state and federal benefits they might be qualified for, early intervention therapies, the healthcare guidelines, the doctors, nurses, all of that stuff. But then we just also create community. We have a lot of family events to connect families to one another. We have some youth programming, some therapeutic youth programming. And then throughout the rest of the person's life and the family's journey, we offer similar things. So family connection events, building that community, allowing families to rely on one another for the resources and the answers and the support that they need. But we're always a phone call or email away if anybody has any questions. So helping families through, you might be familiar with this through like the individualized education process in schools and making sure that kids get what they need in school, or making sure that, they have the tools they need to be employed when they graduate from high school. And then we offer a lot of other direct programming that kind of maintains some of the social skills and the independent living skills that they might need. And then in addition to just like ongoing family events, again, where people can connect. We also do a lot with schools in the region, so helping teachers and schools feel equipped to have people with Down syndrome in their classrooms. So it's a lot that we do, and that's
Wow,
really
I'm blown
I love
away,
it.
really. I love the community that you've built and how you're just addressing all aspects of life, life in general, and then how it relates to an individual with Down syndrome and how you can, none of us as parents get a playbook, right? They don't give you a
Yeah,
handbook when you leave the hospital, right? You
right.
have your little bundle of joy and maybe a diaper bag if you're lucky, and there's no playbook. But that's scary. That's a scary proposition. You just kind of have to figure it out as you go along. But then you add in that twist or turn of some type of special need or a different ability, or then it's like, well, I need two playbooks. Where are they? It sounds like you are that playbook. You are that resource. And I'm amazed at how you really develop such a personal relationship with individuals in your community. How do you accredit that happening? That's remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. We are consistently, the thing that our families say is that the sense of community that we have built is the number one thing that they appreciate and value about our associations.
Wow.
It's very important. And just the awareness we're raising in the community as well is a huge part of our mission. Again, the celebration part. I would say, we were founded by parents, so we are a grassroots organization. And even though now we have 14 staff members and we're, regional and we serve over 2,000 individuals with Down syndrome, there's still a really grassroots feel to what we do. Everybody in our staff really deeply cares about the people that we serve. So it's
servant leadership.
Absolutely. And it feels more like family than it does like a client service provider relationship. So I think people feel really at home. And then it's just word of mouth. We have an amazing marketing manager who does a great job with awareness and social media.
Okay, let's shout out your marketing manager.
Yes, Abigail Bosslet. She's
Abigail.
amazing. Yes.
Good job.
And I think it's a combination. Emily and I always talk about going back to one cause in our special event, which I know we'll get to, is people don't raise money for us because they really love me or they really love Emily, even though they do really love Emily. And
I love you guys.
And she makes it possible for people to fund all the logistics. I mean, you cannot underscore how hard that job is and how important it is. But it really is, people are raising money for us because they believe in our mission and they believe in what we're doing. If we weren't serving the community, they wouldn't feel compelled to raise money for us. So they believe in what we're doing and they believe that it takes all of us to make it happen. And so that's really critical to our fundraising success and the community that we've built. Yeah.
Well, I applaud what you're doing. I mean, we are at a pivotal moment in fundraising and relationships between nonprofits and their donors. And for the first time ever, we've, have lower trust rates than for-profit companies. And so the fact that you're able to amplify those relationships into such a tight bond is incredible. So let's pause for a moment and applaud what you're doing, because that it's a model for all nonprofits for sure. And thank goodness you've kept that going for as long as you did. And what's interesting to me is that you can transcend that, not just in your programming, but also in your fundraising. So Emily, I think we need to chat with you. You recently had a very successful fundraising event, but it sounds that it's not disconnected from that community feel and the mission. So do you want to tell us about the event and how do you accomplish that? How do you make it a fundraiser and keep that community connection going at the same time and be as successful as you are? Because you need the money to do the programming. So fundraising is important, right? So help us out. How do you accomplishing all of that?
Yeah, so we just had our biggest one of the year. It always is every year. It's Step Up for Down Syndrome. Every year, though,
Step Up for Down Syndrome.
Yeah,
Got it.
And it is just every year since I've been here, it has grown in just unexplainable ways. And this year we raised, it's still ongoing, so it closes on Sunday, but it has so far raised over $500,000, which is
Nice.
The most.
How many people attend the event? So your team of 14, and how many people attended the event?
4,700 is what we're estimating.
Okay. Oh my God, I want to hear all about this event. Tell me about the venue, the entertainment. How did you integrate the mission and the purpose? 500,000, that's amazing. Go ahead, spill all the tea.
I would think 500,000.
Half a
Like, that's
million,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's a good number. I love that.
500,000.
Abigail would be proud.
She would, yes. So it happens in Forest Park, which if you're familiar with the St. Louis area, that is the main park in St. Louis. So it happens in Forest Park. It's open to the public. So I'm sure we do have some people come in from the public, like what is going on. It is leading up to the event is all peer-to-peer fundraising. So teams, families,
Oh,
yeah, it's all peer-to-peer. I mean, sponsors, corporate teams, things like that. But day of the event, it is nothing but a celebration. So we have a DJ, a stage. People with Down syndrome love to dance, so we've got a huge dance floor for them, and they take full advantage of it. The day kicks off though with the 5K in Forest Park, and that one has about 400 runners. That was also a record-breaking time for us. We've never had 400 runners,
400
but
runners. Wow.
they do the 5K, and then it goes straight into Step Up for Down Syndrome, where it's just vendor booths and resource booths from organizations in the community, games. We partner with White Castle, and they cook free sliders. We partner with the Gateway Grizzlies, and they bring the hot dogs and nachos, and we do snow cones. And so we do all like the carnival foods and all the fun games and things, and it's just about 3.5 hours long of just fun and just a celebration. Like that is leading up to it's all the fundraising, all the work, all the team fundraisers that they put on. And the day of is just we made it. This is time. This is for you. Like this is for the families. And so I will say that just back to what Erin has said, and it's just, we can't reiterate it enough of that. The programs that we provide, the services that we provide is what get people to fundraise. And we had team-wise, almost 200 teams this year fundraise money, and about 30 of them were brand new. So that's either they had a baby in the past year, they needed a few years to adjust to their new life with the baby, and now they're wanting to get involved more. And only like a few of those had never heard of us before. And so they found out from another family that they were like, you need to do this. This is awesome. Here's the organization. They're amazing, like get involved. And so, yeah, it's just peer-to-peer. I work with all the teams, help them do their third-party fundraisers, and just that they do a good chunk of it.
Wow. I'm blown away. You do this every year, or is this like once a decade?
No, every June. Every June we do it.
So are you already starting on next year's event? I assume. Yes.
Well, so this year ends, we keep it open till the end of June because there are like some last minute donations, company matches, things like that. We'll open it up in October for next year because October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. So people
October. I was going to ask you that. I didn't know if the event took place. I wasn't sure about the cause calendar. I try to remember it, but so October is Down Syndrome Awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to
got
talk
it.
about the connection between Step Up and Walk in the Park?
Yeah, so that's the other big thing is that based on how much money teams raise, it equals a number of tickets that they get to the sister event called Walk in the Park, which is in October. Usually this year it's in September.
Oh, wait. I love that. You sponsor a Walk in the Park too. And that's a Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis event as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're connected.
Okay, so if you raise top fundraiser in June,
mm-hmm.
you could earn tickets for the October event. Is that right? You tie them together that way?
Yes. Yep.
Brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I just had to pause there because I think that our audience would want to hear.
Yeah,
It's
Great way
really
to
unique.
connect your events.
It's really
Yeah.
unique. I think.
very unique. Yeah.
Good.
So Walk in the Park, we partner with the St. Louis Cardinals here in St. Louis, and
Oh,
they really work with us. So every year we get the last game of the year. So usually it's in October. That's how we kick off Down Syndrome Awareness Month. This year their last home game is the last week of September. So we're kicking off Down Syndrome Awareness Month a little early, but they get tickets to the baseball game. We have a pregame pep rally with Fredbird the mascot, the Cardinals DJ. It's all inside Busch Stadium. We walk the field. Top fundraisers from Suds get to throw out the first pitch. They get to do the starting lineup with players and get autographs from players. And then we all watch the game together, and we all wear the shirt from Step Up for Down Syndrome that we get. and we always make sure it's not red because we will blend in with the Cardinals.
Cardinals, that's right.
So this year it's yellow. Last year it was purple, and the following year was blue.
Yellow looks good with red. That's perfect.
But it helps us stand out in the crowd.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people are
for
like,
sure.
why is all of those sections? Because we have about 3,500 people who go to that. So we take up a good chunk of the side of the stadium, and people are like, what is going on? Why are they all in yellow? And so
Yeah.
that is a fundraiser, or not, that's an awareness event, because it just raises awareness to everybody in Busch Stadium. We're up on the Jumbotron, and it's a fun day.
Wow. I hope our audience is listening. This is brilliant. Really purposeful, community-centric marketing, and a great incentive for fundraising. What do you attribute to the success? I got to ask, like, who came up with these, connection points, and what are some of the things that help you be so successful? Because I'm sure our audience is where they're driving their kids, to soccer practice right now, and they're taking notes, and they're like, oh, we have to do this, but let's make it actionable for them. What do you attribute to all of your success?
Well, I'll definitely say that just the relationships that we have with families, whether that's the families who come on a weekly basis to programming, or they hear from me 5 times a week, or however often we communicate.
Is that all?
That's it. Yeah. I would say it's the relationship with them, but I think it's also the relationships with community partners, like with the Cardinals or with the Grizzlies or White Castle. Like people love the fact that they can go to the Cardinal game later in the year. They love that if they come to Step Up for Down Syndrome, they're going to get as many unlimited White Castle sliders or Grizzly hot dogs that they want.
Oh, I haven't had a White Castle in such a long time. You're making me hungry. I'm going to go do that for lunch.
It's just all of the relationships that we have, that we build, and that we don't just reach out for SUDS or Step Up for Down Syndrome. We call it SUDS.
I've seen your sites. They're beautiful. You do call it SUDS. I remember saying that because I do some social listening. We rotate that. I'm part of the marketing team here, so we do some rotations on social listening. I do remember it was a standout site for me. So good job on that.
Thank you. Well, I think it's just also like that relationship doesn't just come once a year when we ask them like, hey, let's start fundraising. It's year round. And that is such a key point. It's like, yes, we see you in June for Step Up for Down Syndrome and you're fundraising money, which is great, but happy Valentine's Day, happy St. Patrick's Day, happy 4th of July. Like they get so many cards from us. And then they get phone calls and emails, and it's just like, I talked to a mom the other day and I was like, how's your new baby doing? She just had a brand new baby. Or, I'll talk to somebody and it's like, how's your mom doing? Knowing that her mom was going through health problems, and it's just knowing them on more of a personal level instead of like a transactional level is so important.
Well, that's what's ringing loud and clear in this sector, right? You are a living example of what all the thought leaders and experts are saying that we need to do. So hold on to that. That I really have to congratulate you. That's remarkable. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're getting a few phone calls from your peers, just, because it's tough, right? If you haven't gone down the road of segmenting and personalizing and keeping track. I mean, it's a lot. You're only a team of 14. Now, 14 is a lot, but 14 is not a lot for what you're accomplishing. It sounds like you could be a team of 50 really to get it done. So what, I'm sure people have envy right now, right? Like, can we talk about some of the ways that you do that? And I am specifically going to go to the tech plate. Let's go to tech. Is tech, and let me just take a risk here that my team's probably going to beat me up for, but has the One Cause solution helped in that regard? Like, how has tech helped you be efficient and personalized and get the job done?
Yeah, definitely. So this is our second year using One Cause, I believe, the peer-to-peer.
And what platform you use you're a customer of our peer-to-peer solution, is that right?
Yes, and the auction site too.
Oh, you have our mobile bidding
Mobile
or
bidding.
the new platform site?
The mobile bidding.
Got
That's
it.
how we first got introduced to One Cause, actually, was through the mobile bidding
Okay.
and ticketing, which was like a game changer for us in terms of our auctions and our events and stuff like that. It's 110% worth the cost of using that
Oh, is
platform.
that all? Okay.
It was a game changer for us. So when we were looking for a new peer-to-peer platform, one of the reasons we went with One Cause is because we had such a successful relationship with you all for our mobile bidding and ticketing site.
Wow. And how are you deploying it to help you get some of this personalization? Do you feel that it's giving you the efficiencies that you need that save the time to help you know that a family just had a new baby? I mean, is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. So I will say it is 100 and we're just going to use 110% again. Easier. This platform is so much easier than the platform that we were using before One Cause. And families and teams find it so much more user friendly as well. But they can personalize it in their own way of their team page. And so that helps them spread, awareness about their team and fundraising, because I've always told teams, personalize your page, because your story goes a long way. Your story is more than just asking somebody to donate. It's why they're donating, what they're donating for. And so for them to do that, and then once they do, I get the notification that they've started a team. So then I make that personal connection immediately. And it's like,
Oh, you
welcome
do.
to Step Up First. Welcome to Step Up for Down Syndrome. Saw you started a team. What questions do you have? Here's our starter packet. You'll hear from me 5 times a week from now.
Wow.
I think you
You,
have to, I mean, as a fundraiser, you have to think about how you like to be communicated with. And we've all
I
gotten
love that.
requests
Mhm.
for donations, and it feels really impersonal. Or you do donate, you take a risk and you're like, okay, I like this cause, I'm going to donate, and then you never hear from them again, or you don't even get a thank you letter, or you get an electronic receipt and that's it. It's like you said, Dawn, I mean, there are so many nonprofits out there. You could pick, I mean, any one of thousands of different nonprofits to donate to. So as a fundraiser, we have to think of ways to stand out.
Mhm.
And it is the personal relationship, because that's how they're going to know that what you're doing, the money they're donating, is going to a good cause. And it's not just, you want to know that your money is going to a cause and you can see the impact that it's having. And the person, when you call, you're going to get a friendly voice on the phone and they're going to say thank you. And they're going to know, like Emily said, they're going to know about your mom's health issues or your new addition to your family. And that's going to keep donors connected to you, because there's a lot of people that are doing it. There's a lot of nonprofits that are doing it wrong. And I hate to say
Yeah.
that, but
No, that's fair. It's fair. I
you're
mean, we're
not putting
seeing
the
it in
work
the,
in.
yeah, you got to put the work in. You just said it. You have to put the work in. And it
Yeah.
sounds like you really created a structure and the connection points that are really critical and often overlooked. So, good for you, because I'm so glad you're using technology. I'm so glad that you're a customer of One Cause and that you're using our technology. But technology was never meant to take away the human factor and the personalization. So you're leveraging it the right way and you're doing the work, not making it do it for you. So I just can't applaud you guys enough. I'm so proud of you. Really, congratulations. The community is very lucky to have you. And I'm sure you would turn around and say you're lucky to have the community, but community is very lucky, really. You're doing such a great job and you're such an inspiration. And now I'm even more excited that we had you on the show, because hopefully you can inspire others, because I think you are that living proof of what thought leaders are saying. So I want to, wrap up with some very important things, like what do you need? Like if somebody's listening and they're inspired as I am, what, of course, come to an event, donate, well, and we're going to put that all in the show notes, right? Your website, your contact information, a little bit about the association. But if somebody wants to get involved, how do they get involved? And what are the critical needs right now?
Yeah, I would say, to reiterate what Emily said, we love having partners in the community, and a huge part of what we're trying to do is raise the awareness. And we really think that with the awareness comes everything else, comes the fundraising, comes the donations. But if we can raise the awareness first about Down syndrome and about people with Down syndrome. So I always like to say, like, I want everybody to know somebody with Down syndrome. So, or know of somebody with Down syndrome. I don't want to be in a room and say, who knows somebody with Down syndrome, and nobody raises their hand. So just helping us spread the word, helping us spread our mission, helping, spread stories on your social media platforms about the great things that people with Down syndrome are doing. Volunteer with us. It's a great way to get involved. And then, like I said, if you're moved, of course, the donations come later, but we want you to trust in our mission and get involved first. And I would say that we're also here for everyone out there listening. We are certainly still learning. We're always still learning. We're always still growing. We have those organizations that we look to and we're like, one day we're going to be them. So call us, email us. We're happy to answer questions or think through some things alongside you to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
And what's next? What do you see, Emily, for you for the SUDS event? Where do you want to see it go? And Erin, for you, what's your 5-year plan?
Yeah, so for me personally, Step Up for Down Syndrome or SUDS, one day will be $1 million event. That is my
Well,
goal.
you've crossed the halfway mark,
Yes,
so
we're halfway. So, I mean, little by little, it'll grow. And so that is my maybe 5-year plan. And then once it hits that, just continue to grow. But I know that we've got a lot of exciting things coming up in the next year and in the next 5 years. And it's just, yeah, it's just always fun. So I'm gonna plug in what Erin said about volunteers. And if you volunteer with us, you will fall in love with the people that we serve.
Yeah.
And you will be greeted at the door with a hug by them because they are huggers. And it makes you want to, once you volunteer once, you'll never stop.
you're hooked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And, we're so grateful to be your partner, really, and to just play a teeny tiny role in helping amplify your mission and getting you to that $1 million. But Erin, before we close out, what's your 5-year plan? What can we expect
Sure.
for the association?
Well, I will say that we're in the middle of some strategic planning right now. So it's a huge part of what nonprofits should be doing is it's planning, and my consultant says achieving results on purpose. So that's really how I'm thinking about the next 5 years for us. We're moving into a new space. We're going to be able to triple the square foot
Wow.
that we have. And like I said, I'm a big dreamer. I'm a big vision person. So I see nothing but huge gains for the Down syndrome community in our region and in the country. So that's where my 5-year plan is. We don't have it all fleshed out, but it's growth. It's results on purpose. It's all going to be tied back to the plan that the board and I come up with, and it's going to be just more awareness, more programs and services. And really what it comes down to is the equality and helping people with Down syndrome achieve their full potential. And I think that a lot of that comes down to people without Down syndrome need to look at what we're doing, look at the structures we're putting up in society and break down the barriers to
Yeah.
their success. We're in the way. So let them live their full lives, break down the barriers, let them be them. So that's what we're going to do.
Underline and echo that 5 times for sure, right? I mean, I empathize exactly with what you're saying. That's beautiful. You are both exactly what this show is all about, just inspiring the work that we're doing, the impact that we're making, how one cause could play a little teeny tiny role, and we're all in it together, right? We're just in it together. And I'm so proud of you, really. We're going to have to check in with you after October and for SUDS next year, and just, follow along with your journey. But unfortunately, Fearless Fundraisers, that's about all the time we have for today. We're going to put Emily and Erin's contact information in the show notes. So if you're inspired, like I've been inspired, and you want to talk to them a little bit more, or donate, get involved, volunteer, be a corporate sponsor alongside, White Castle and the Cardinals, some great names there to take this journey with. We'll make sure that you can get in touch with them. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's Raise Nation topic and that daily dose of fundraising inspiration. Please tune in for a new episode release every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. That's Thursdays, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time for new releases. In the meantime, please listen to all the episodes on Raise Nation Radio. There's 140, 50 of them. So you do need to play some catch up. And you can follow us on any channel because we do stream everywhere, including on demand at onecause.com and YouTube. And if you're a fundraiser and you're doing amazing things and you want to share your story on Raise Nation Radio, please get in touch with me. We would love to feature your mission. We know your stories are awe-inspiring, and we'd love to help you build better tomorrows together. I would like to thank our sponsor, OneCause, for making this episode possible. OneCause is driving the future of fundraising with easy-to-use digital fundraising solutions that help nonprofits connect with donors. Check it out, onecause.com. And while you're there, visit the resource tab on the homepage. There's free content, and hopefully you'll find that helpful. And there's also a link to this podcast. A huge shout out and thanks to my guests, Erin Fisher and Aaron Schulman of the Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis. I just loved your very authentic voice, your expertise in fundraising, and how casual you are about an amazing feat about the community that you've built and the personalization that you've created with your donors. I enjoyed our conversation so much. I can't thank you enough for being here and just parting with some of that inspiration. But I do have to ask you, any last words specifically on inspiration for our audience, whoever wants to go first? But I want to hear from both of you.
I have a quote that I really like. I have it hanging on my wall. It's from Nelson Mandela, and it's, it always seems impossible until it's done. So you might be out there in a small nonprofit or you have big goals, but don't give up. And you're going to look back and say, oh, I didn't think we could do it, but we did it. So just keep going.
I love that. All right. Any more inspiration?
Yes, so I would just say, I mean, it's super short and sweet and simple, but it's not always the easiest, but just show kindness. I mean, you show kindness along the way, and you never know what someone's going through. Just be a hugger. And yeah, just show kindness.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great mic drop and fantastic place to close out the show. So thank you again so much. That is a wrap. Until next time, I'm Dawn Lego. This is Raise Nation Radio. You stay fearless out there.